comes and never lasts. I'm looking out the window like, when's it gonna pass? I need some cash. I did the math, it keeps sending this subtraction. The fate is just the laws of attraction. I'll never know, pause traction. Fast lane cocaine dealer, trying to ease his pain with these painkillers. I don't want my soul to be stained to obtain my wealth. I couldn't learn from his mistakes, I had to make them myself. And I ain't never been scared, but reality is frightening. My 3-year-old daughter's name came from my indictments, like a VH1 story with a hard end. Shit, I'm serving a life sentence, and I still got a charge pending. Seems like everywhere I go now they watch. Hiding this pain in my eyes behind massages. Can't sleep, I'm too busy chasing dreams. And the feds send a posse down like I ain't never seen yet. But it helped me from going insane. I grew up thinking it's part of the game. The mountain laws always taught me bad guys with the feds don't get high on your supply. Your brain will look like eggs in a skillet. Yeah, can you feel it? Forget it. Hate is baby crack air. That's how I'ma get it. Just fresh up out of jail. New plan, new man. But I can't seem to change who I am. I'm a hustler. I've been running for so long from them boys. I can't go to sleep without the noise. Television's on, 40 by my head. Laying on the couch while my shoulders in the bed. If I stay awake to 5, I'll probably sell another ounce. Shoes tied tight just in case I gotta bounce. Here they ties, hit the gravel. How they know I'm back at it? Little girl looking daddy while you in the attic. I'm high.
Do we have volume? Do we have volume? Can y'all hear me? Yes, you can. Put the song in here. We're gonna jump in hot. We're gonna jump in hot. I know it's getting late. Hill State. Little college football flavor. Let me get this shared to my channels here real quick. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. What is up, Jackson and all surrounding areas? Man, talk about a wild day in Jackson. I mean, it was going kind of been kind of mellow. I was over here making some notes, and we always joke around when breaking news breaks, we break with it. And the Sweetie Pie stuff broke. And we kind of mellow. Turn the volume down there. All right, I can see y'all's comments here. Sorta. Getting this shared to my personal Facebook page. Y'all bear with me 1 second here. How's everybody doing? Man. Did anybody see the nonsense that is going on at Goodyear today? Apparently at one of the Goodyear plants, they have a zero tolerance policy. And with that zero tolerance policy, things that are acceptable, Black Lives Matter. I think we can all agree that Black Lives Matter. Does anybody question that? Of course, Black Lives Matter. As do every other life. And anything LGBTQ is acceptable. And I guess what they mean by that is on your clothing, conversation in the workplace, whatever. Unacceptable things. Blue lives matter. All lives matter. Anything MAGA related or any political affiliated clothes. But literally, I've got the DNC on in the background here, and the whole platform is Black Lives Matter. Would that not be political rhetoric? Oh, man. All right. Barney, you say you're out. We're laying in peace, brother. And some people, I swear, can't have. That's why we can't have nothing nice around here. The second you talk about somebody else's political stuff, they're out. Like, nobody wants to hear anything different. I just saw that and just thought, like, man, that's crazy. Like, why is only one thing allowed and another's not? Oh, a little new thing I want to start here. A little This Week in History. August 15th through 17th, 1969. We missed yesterday, so I'm going to count yesterday. Woodstock, probably the most famous music festival in the world, happened this past weekend, 51 years ago. Jimi Hendrix played the national anthem at 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Good times. August 16th, 1977, Elvis died. August 17th, 1969, Hurricane Camille hit the coast. August 17th, 1977, the biggest one of these yet. Y'all probably hadn't even thought about it. I was born. Shout out to my wife. Thank you so much for the Ric Flair cameo. Like, you never think it'd be cool to have one of those cameos where you pay a celebrity to give somebody a shout out until you open your phone and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, is saying your name and giving you a happy birthday. It becomes the coolest thing in the world then, and I've completely changed my opinion on cameos. I will be giving them to everybody for their birthdays. So, with that said, also, I want to give a local restaurant a shout out. My wife and some friends of mine, some great friends of mine, took me out for my birthday Saturday night. It was kind of a surprise. I just thought it was going to be me and her, and boom. I had 5 or 6 people show up. A couple didn't. We recruited some people from the bar that we knew that just happened to be there. So it was kind of fun. But anyway, Shapley's Steakhouse. This is not a paid ad. I've never been to Shapley's before. I did one time before, like 20 years ago. Shapley's Steakhouse may have the best service and experience overall of any place I've ever eaten at in this city. I'm actually disappointed in myself that I have not been there before, or at least as a legit adult, not in my early 20s. Could not have been more professional. Everybody had their mask on. They were even wearing gloves, and I'm sure that's part of the protocol. There's probably a lot of restaurants doing that. I've been getting most of my stuff delivered or to go, so admittingly, I don't want to speak for every restaurant. My wife requested to have my birthday. They were requested if they sang happy birthday. And I was like, they don't sing happy birthday at this ain't no middle of the mall place. They don't sing happy birthday here. This girl came in and went full Marilyn Monroe, Mr. President. All happy birthday. Well, my wife was in the restroom and missed it. So we told her about it when she came back. And I don't know, maybe she said, oh my God, I missed it. They came back and sang happy birthday for a second time. Look, just above and beyond. If you're looking for somewhere to have your birthday, if you're looking for somewhere to take a party of, whatever the case may be, just have dinner. Chrishell's, or not Chrishell's, I'm sorry. I love Chrishell's too. M.M. Shapley's. The Shapley's right there on County Line where it's always been. The original, the Shapley's family is back running it. M.M. Shapley's. Could not say more about them. I've been going to give them a great review on the internet today, and I just keep forgetting to. But highly recommend it. Eat at Shapley's. I mean, it was kind of funny too because we did like a "What's your favorite steak restaurant" this past week on the Facebook page. One of my personal favorite is Wendell. but that it's atmosphere, it's pricing, it's quality of food, it's the fact that I can walk in flip-flops and a tank top and nobody cares. Hell, your waiter may be wearing flip-flops and a tank top, and I'm cool with that. I enjoy a laid-back, relaxed atmosphere. So, overall, Wendell's still probably my favorite. But if you want a just over-the-top, out-of-this-world experience, Shapley's was amazing. So I wanted to make sure I thanked my friends and I mentioned Shapley's. Great place. Steak was amazing. Amazing. Stuffed shrimp, fried crab claws, all of it. Thank you to my friends that showed up. Something that I wrote down, I don't know if it's happened yet. I've been a little busy. I was watching Napoleon's live stream. Bill Clinton is apparently supposed to speak or is speaking right now at the DNC. At the same time, video or photos have been released of a victim of Jeffrey Epstein giving him a massage on the Lolita Express. There's some hypocrisy for you. Orange man bad, though. Orange man bad. So look, let's just jump straight in, man. Thank everybody again. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're wondering where Crystal's at, her daughter works, and she had to go pick her up, so she's not with us right now. She may jump in later when she gets back home. Fingers crossed. The show's a lot better when she's involved. So the Stennis flag. The Stennis flag did not make the cut. Now, I don't know if there's any wrestling fans out there, or UFC fans, or football, sports fans in general. I think it's safe to say that the Stennis flag was probably the favorite, right? I mean, the Stennis flag is what started all this. No, I don't want to say this is what started all this, but it was, you can buy a tag with the Stennis flag on it. And they say all that money is going to go to some minority cause or whatever, and that's great. At least it's going somewhere. The Stennis flag did not make the cut, or the Unity flag, or the People's flag, or whatever they changed the name to. It wasn't my favorite choice, so personally, I'm glad it didn't make it. If you'll look at the article we shared with the pictures, my favorite is the one that's on the top right. It's got Mississippi in blue. It's got the river, and then it's got like red on the side, and the magnolia leaf in the middle. That's my personal favorite. It's on the top right of the top 5. That's just me. Look, I'm well past the other flag. It ain't coming back. Let's move on from that. I like my favorite flag from the beginning has made the final cut, the final 5. We've got a thing going on here. You can look on the Save Jackson page, and I shared Patrick, the weather guy from WLBT's post, and you can comment under there. Let us know which one's your favorite. Let's see. This light is blinding me again tonight. I've got it up one too much. Donor Sweetie Pies, the legendary restaurant that's been on the TV shows that I've never watched, but I have heard about it, has been arrested for conspiracy to commit murder, or conspiracy involved in the murder of his nephew, an 18-year-old, back in 2014 or 15. Look, go to WLBT, read the story, go listen to the Cypher Voices live stream tonight. He went way into it, way deeper than I'm going to go. I don't want to bore y'all with my horrible reading skills, so check that out. But man, that's terrible. Look, when they came to town, and I used to have a restaurant downtown, I thought to myself, oh, that's kind of cool. But then I saw they put a smoker in a parking place on the street. And I went, what is that, Congress Street right there that runs next to the governor's mansion where they were with the brick street? They put a smoker. There's a Kiefer's in the same little strip as them. They put a smoker in a parking place, one of those big electric old hickory type smokers. I said, that ain't gonna fly. Let me tell you, after having a restaurant on Capitol Street for 9-10 years, I'm just gonna tell you that ain't gonna fly. Well, of course it didn't fly, and of course the location was really small, so they figured a way to either they broke the lease, they abandoned the lease. And I thought to myself at the time, I was like, yeah, probably not the kind of people you want to do business with. Just my personal opinion. You know, they break a lease, they jump out. I've been that guy. I've been in a club, I've been in a restaurant, I've broke a lease when I was younger. You know, it happens. I don't want to judge anybody for taking a better opportunity. But, you know, I mean, you got to say that, hey, you know, what's going on there? It probably threw up a red flag on me. It probably threw up a red flag on them. I said there's more to the story. And, of course, there was more to the story. They moved into a different location. Business had been doing pretty well. Let me see. I want to make sure I say this right. Business had been doing well until COVID hit. And then, of course, everybody took a hit. And then today, just sitting around, man, got some breaking news. Says owner of Sweetie Pies indicted in murder of nephew. And I read the story and I was like, my God. I mean, I've avoided talking about any of these places because, you know me, man, I do not like to bash a local business. And I'm not going to bash the business itself. I hear the food's great. They employ local people, innocent till proven guilty. But it does not look good. We'll say that. Does not look good. You can get WLBT has got a good breakdown of the story. I'm going to share it in the comments now, just so people can see it in case they've missed it. Pulling it up here. And we'll move on to the next subject. So just in case you have not seen this, here is in the comments here a link to this story concerning WLBT. This is coming from my personal page. I cannot accept any new friend requests on my personal page. I'm maxed out, but if you want to follow me there, you're welcome to it. But I post way more stuff here on Save Jackson, and I really just share it there so my 5,000 people there can see it. But you're welcome to follow me there. I also have Clay Edwards Media, and I post more national stuff there. So if you want to follow that, all the same. Would love to have you. Join our Facebook group, JXN Uncensored. And it's probably the most misleading name on the internet because I have full control over what you post or what I allow. But there's certain stuff that's just irrelevant to the page. We're not going to have Cardi B trying to give away fake money to you. So you want, unlike those NTZ groups and some of these other groups, we're not going to approve any videos of people trying to scam you out of money. Let's see. So there was a protest downtown today, sorta, right in front of the governor's mansion. A buddy of mine downtown, one of my sources, sent me some pictures of the wood or cardboard cutouts in front of the governor's mansion, all like this with the different messages and stuff. And look, I'm all for any kind of peaceful protest. I dig it, man. Whatever you want to do. I'll never knock you protesting peacefully. I don't care what it's about. I wish I had more free time to go protest. I'd go to the governor's mansion about 3 days a week and protest something or another if I had the time. But what are you protesting at this point? Half the police departments in Democrat cities are being abolished. You've made George Floyd a civil rights icon. The state flag has come down. Nobody that's not a conservative, like nobody on the left gets charged with a hate crime for beating up anybody that they feel like is leaning a different direction than them. All rioters, looters, statue vandalizers, everything. No charges being pressed, with the exception of a select few who really, really tore some stuff up. I mean, what are you protesting now? What are you still mad about? What do you want? I just don't understand. Attention. And I like attention. That's why I do this show. I mean, I feel like I have a message to get across, but I do this from the confines of my home. You know, what I do does not affect anybody else. So I just don't understand, what are you protesting still? And not just in Jackson, in Portland, in Seattle, all these other places. You know, why has Black Lives Matter let white liberals hijack their message and turn it into a George Soros fiasco? I mean, these are just questions that I think we all have. So, I don't know. I respect the artist and what they're doing. I dig any of that kind of stuff. I dig a peaceful protest. I guess I'm just burnt. At what point do you just say to yourself, the message is being lost? Like, we're turning people off at this point. We are not attracting anybody to our cause. We are pushing people to Donald Trump by burning them out on this. And it's happening. Make no mistake. It is absolutely happening. Lindsay asked, how is the artwork affecting anyone? Yeah, well, Lindsay, how is it affecting anyone, good or bad? I didn't say we had a problem with the artwork. I'm just saying that who cares anymore? You know, what message are you getting across? Like, I looked all over social media today and couldn't find any reason for it. It was just there. And everybody wanted to give the artist kudos, and kudos to the artist. You know, we respect art. We love it here. I say by we, I mean I love it. You know, so I'm all for it, man. I follow a bunch of great pages with art stuff, like on Instagram, Spray Jackson. They cover a bunch of graffiti and art and stuff like that. And we're all about it. I mean, we're all about protest. We don't discredit any of that stuff. But I just feel like, at what point do you feel like your message is getting lost because it's overkill? Space it out some. Wait till something else happens. I don't know. I mean, to be young, I guess that's to be young and to think that's all that matters. It must be a lovely deal. Lindsay's one of our biggest fans, by the way. She says, you said you do your thing from home and that doesn't affect anyone. Well, my thing doesn't. I'm not setting up cardboard cutouts in the middle of the sidewalk for people to have to walk around. So, I mean, there's that. Again, we don't hate it. I'm just trying to figure out what are you protesting at this point? Jackson, let's just bring it home to Jackson. Jackson is 90% African American. It's had a liberal African American supermajority for 25 years. Every bit of 20. Anything that's going on in Jackson at this point that requires protesting is self-inflicted. We as Jacksonians cannot blame anybody else for what's going on in Jackson. So, I guess that's really all I got to say about that. I'm not going to dig too deep into that. Y'all know what I'm saying. You know it's true. We have to look, as Jacksonians, we have to look in the mirror and say, anything going on here is our damn fault. It is nobody else's fault. The Republicans that run the state are not in the city streets of Jackson robbing people and shooting them and killing them and all the stuff that's going on here. Republicans that run the state have not killed 300 plus people in the city limits of Jackson in the last little less than 4 years since Mayor Lumumba took office. So let's not blame this on the state. This is a city of Jackson issue. Republicans, Jackson has more crime than anywhere else in the state, tenfold times 100, I would imagine. I haven't looked at the statewide numbers, but Jackson, I'll say it again, Jackson's murder rate is 15 times more than Chicago's per capita. Let that soak in. Let's see. COVID-19 numbers today. 795 new cases, 34 deaths. So like I told y'all yesterday, I completely expected around 700. I said 700 and about 35 deaths. If you look at the trends, Saturdays and Sundays are low, Mondays are low, Tuesdays are high. So I've talked to some people and they say it's because you're basically lumping in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the way they report into Tuesday's number. So it's 3 days. Now, one thing that I was wrong about, I confirmed this from somebody today. The numbers are not on a 14-day delay. They're on about a 3-day delay. So that is very interesting. So the numbers are way more in real time than we thought originally. So just some food for thought. So the numbers are way more in real time. So we're not running 2 weeks behind, which that's good news, because that means we're basically looking at this in live time, and the numbers are coming down. The trends are coming down in live time, not running 2 weeks behind. I guess I can make an argument for either way being good news, but I prefer live time over a delay anytime. Give me 1 second here. I've got this update that insists on hijacking my computer, and it just hijacked my computer. I accidentally hit the restart button, but I can talk. I don't need my computer. Let's see. The COVID-19 numbers. One of the other things that I thought was going on, and is not, according to somebody that I know, a source that I have in the medical field, works at UMC and at another doctor's office, says that there really are no false positives, but there are false negatives with these quick tests, that if it says you have it, you got it. But there's a lot, they are missing a lot of positives, but here's where we're making up the positives in a larger number, and that is scaring the hell out of people. There are people going back and getting tested 3 or 4 times over a month and getting positive every time. And contrary to what Dr. Dobbs says, they are being reported as new tests. Because how do they know? They're just reporting them as tests. So that's a little something. Sorry, I'm just running through my notes here since I lost my computer. I'm about to lose y'all in the comments. But let me pull up something that I wanted to talk about. I hate when technology screws you. Dun, 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 dun. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up my notes here while the computer restarts. They had all my news articles and everything saved to it. All right. We discussed Sweetie Pies, the Stennis flag. What are people protesting about? Okay, so the state treasurer, McRae, says since January of this year, he has given back over $10 million to Mississippians. Not to the state, not to any city, straight up to Mississippians. And that is really cool to me. And let's see, made notes. Yep, here it is. So if you think you may have some money coming back, or you want to check and see if you have any of that money coming back, go to treasury.ms.gov, search your name or a family member's name, and find out if you have any money coming back to you from the state treasurer. I did it last year. Unfortunately, I did not have any coming back, but it is definitely worth the try. So, and I did get that article from Kingfish over at Jackson Jambalaya. I want to make sure I give credit where it's due there. Go to, again, treasury.ms.gov, search your name or a family member's name. So one of the things I wanted to discuss tonight was voting by mail. The DNC zone, I've been telling y'all we're going to take this page a little bit more national. It's an election year. Why wouldn't you? You know, a lot of stuff to talk about. It's all 90% of us talk about on our Facebook pages anyway. So let's discuss some national politics. That is definitely the direction we're going to go. Not full time, obviously, but we want to mix it in. You can always bring it back home. The president does affect us. Your local elections affect you a lot more. But we all get piss in our vinegar or vinegar in our piss talking about the presidents, whether it be Trump, Obama, Biden, whomever. So do you trust voting by mail? Do you understand the difference in... Oh, shit. I can't even talk. Absentee balloting and voting by mail. They are different. I've done an absentee ballot before. I was going to be out of town in 2016. I went by the Hinds County Courthouse. I went in. I said, hey, I'm going to be out of town. I need to do an absentee ballot. This is about 3 or 4 days before the election. They said, no problem. There was nobody in line in front of me. I did the absentee ballot, filled it out, gave it to them. They put it in the mail, do whatever they did with it. It is not the same as a mail-in ballot. I had to show my ID, why is that such an issue? Why is showing your ID to vote an issue? You have to show your ID to do everything. You can't go in a club without showing your ID. Why is it an issue to vote? Anyway, I'm not articulate enough to have that conversation without pissing a bunch of people off. But you get an ID when you need it to get money. You can get an ID to vote. You can't cash a check without one. You need it to vote. Will you do it? Will you vote by by mail? I'm going to go in and do it in person. Like I was talking today, I was like, I love nothing more than I walk in over here at this little Griffin Memorial Church right here on the corner of Forest Hill and Cherry Road. I walk in and they's like, Republican or Democrat? I'm like, Republican. I show them my ID. I go to my little booth. And obviously they don't know what you're voting for, but that's how you registered. I guess how they have it on file. So I go in there, I do that, and man, it feels good. Get my little I voted thing, post it to Facebook like everybody else. I'm like, haha, look what I did. I did what I'm supposed to do. Now I get to bitch for 4 more years because I voted. One of the other things that I wanted to tell y'all, something I do at least, I used to just do it about once, maybe twice a week. Now I do it every day. Got to get my fix. And I'm pointing at my TV because I do it on there. I go to YouTube and I type in Jackson, Mississippi. And I just hit search. And I see everything that's going on. Tons of this content comes from there. I mean, I put a bunch on there. A bunch of other people around here, but a bunch of content on YouTube. Go check it out. I ran across a video on Vice, which Vice is one of my favorite online channels. And it was a documentary they did here in Jackson about the AIDS epidemic in the gay African-American community. And I just found it very interesting. I thought it tells a story regardless of your political beliefs, Christian beliefs, sexual orientation, any of that. I think we're all humans and we can feel pain and sorrow for these folks and kind of with the struggle they're going through. And it's really worth watching. I can't pull it up right now. I don't have a remote, but just go to YouTube, go to type in Jackson, Mississippi AIDS Epidemic. You'll find it. It's very disturbing. Well, disturbing in just the sense that it's sad. They said that you have a 1 in 2 chance as a gay African American of getting HIV in Jackson, Mississippi. That number, I mean, that is pandemic levels terrible. You've got less of a chance of getting coughed on and getting COVID than you do HIV in that community. So, just a heads up. A lot of good stuff on YouTube. Good is probably a bad word to use there. A lot of very informative information on YouTube if you'll just go type in Jackson, Mississippi. Most of the news channels keep their stuff up to date there, and a lot of national stuff that we just don't, if you don't live in a certain circle, you may never see it. So a lot of good stuff. Like, again, we post all our stuff. Follow us on YouTube at Save JXN. We do a lot of exclusive YouTube stuff as well, our abandoned videos, so on and so forth. We load all these videos up. We're not doing them live on YouTube right now, but they do end up there kind of after the fact. All right, so back to the comments here. One of the things that we're gonna make a big push here on is we're gonna start pushing the Save Our Children. I see some of our girls that have been following the page and just personal friends of mine talking about it, and the sex trafficking is out of control around here. I'm telling you, It is absolutely out of control. And we're gonna make that a big, big thing that we do here. I'm not gonna get on it tonight. A lot going on. We've been on a while now. My computer crashed on me, so I've lost all of my news stories. But you can follow my friend Mary Burnett, Jennifer Pomano, some of them. Follow the hashtag Save Our Children. Tons of sad information there, but good information, especially for parents. You need to be keeping up with this. You absolutely need to be keeping up with Save Our Children. It can affect all of us. Race is irrelevant on this. All lives matter there with Save Our Children, for real. So, am I a not... Good Lord, man. Lindsay, you don't let it go, do you? You know, like Clay Travis would say, block. I'm like... Clay Kyle, I'm a sniper. Just take you out. I get tired of people who just don't want to do nothing but argue with you. You can't say nothing right. And it's white liberals. And this ain't everybody, but I don't know what it is about white liberals. They want to do nothing but attack you, no matter what. I say Save Our Children. Are you a member of QAnon? Or QAnon, or however they say it. No, I just give a damn about kids. Why does that have to be a left wing, or right wing deal? Everything is not a Black Lives Matter or nothing else. You can be pissed off about all of it. You can say Black Lives Matter and Save Our Children. Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. George Floyd's life mattered. Cannon Hanat's life mattered. You don't have to pick. It can be all of them can matter. You can be pissed off about all these people dying for whatever reason. You don't have to pick. Why do we have to pick sides on every damn thing? I don't get that. We stay divided, fighting over everything. It's like, here's these rules, there is no gray area. There absolutely is the gray area. I'm going to show y'all. Black, white, gray. Gray area. Black, white, gray area. Gray area is much bigger than a little line. You can be pissed off about all of it. It blows my mind. Why do we have to constantly fight about this? I love all y'all. Even the lady I just blocked. I'll probably go back and unblock her. I'm just pissed off right now. She's just always busting my balls. Over what seems like petty stuff. Disagree. But you can't disagree on Save Our Children. I refuse. If you disagree with Save Our Children, you were flying on the Lolita Express as a VIP guest of Jeffrey Epstein. You can't. There's some things that are irreprehensible. And anything that has to do with the violation of children ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. Some of y'all, not all y'all, some of y'all have let your hatred for Donald Trump dilute your vision of reality. And it's like somehow anything that he says, the opposite has to be what you agree. He could walk on water, you would say he couldn't swim. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. And don't say, well, so-and-so did it about Obama. I mean, we got to quit that, man. We've got a front row seat to the end of the world right now on the path we're going. But everybody's got their seat turned around looking the other way. Every day my friends call me like, man, what are you doing today? I was like, oh man, just, got my front row seat to the end of the world. What are you doing? It's become my tagline. Front row seat to the end of the world. But we do. And look, and I see somebody else says it goes both ways. I don't even know what Garrick's talking about exactly. But when I see that, I'm going to tell you what I think. It does go both ways. Absolutely. The far right and the far left do not represent the gray area. The gray area is the majority of America, I assume. Well, not just America, but the world. It absolutely goes both ways. I'm a conservative, so I see this side. Some of my Democrat, Republican, liberal friends, left-leaning friends, they see it too. We talk about it. I mean, normal people. When you get offline and go talk to normal people, well, actually, you'd be surprised at how many people you think aren't normal really are once you get offline and go have a real conversation with people. And everybody kind of puts their guard down a little because everybody's so damn defensive online. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have a real reckoning here soon, because it just feels like it's getting closer and closer to here. You cut on the news, and it's these crazy coastal cities, particularly West Coast cities, Seattle, Portland. Occasionally, now you really don't even see this stuff in California. It's these hardcore white liberal cities like Portland and Seattle and pockets of New York. What's going on in Chicago is completely different. That is not the white liberal hijacking of Black Lives Matter. That is absolute chaos in that city. I'm referring to the white liberal hijacking of America. So, I don't know, man. Let's see. See if I'm missing anything here. I'm not going to talk all night just to talk. This show doesn't have to be 2 hours long. It's harder when you don't have a co-host to talk that long, and when your computer craps out on you. Well, look. We can only look at... I'm going to read through the comments here because I always tell people I will read their questions and highlight comments. I want to make sure I do it. Let's see. I hope y'all don't mind if I say your names. If you comment in a public forum, I assume you're given permission to have your name spoken. People can screenshot it, I can say it, right? Oh, you know what? Something I did want to talk about. I hate that I lost it, but I'm still going to talk about it. You can go to the JXN Uncensored group, JXN Uncensored, and hell, you've probably seen it floating around Facebook. In Clinton, I want to make sure I say this, allegedly, but I have it on really good information that a state trooper and his family went into Nolan's Grill, right there on Highway 80, I believe, in Clinton, this past Sunday. At least based on the timeline that I saw, it would have been Sunday. And they ordered their food, and the trooper came in a little late, and he ordered his food. They said the waiter got extremely bothered, and at some point finally told the trooper he would not serve him, that he had to leave, or they would call the cops, which I find completely comical that you would tell a cop to leave or you'll call the cops. That's the most woke white liberal thing that I've ever heard, and I have no clue what race the waiter was, but it just sounds like something a white liberal would say. But the family was like, look, we're not going to say the name of the restaurant. We're going to give them an opportunity to make things right and let the waiter go. Now, I don't ever believe in somebody being fired over their political beliefs. I think you should be able to, for the most part, get online and raise all the hell you want to raise about the opposite party. I do it. So I sit here and I talk about liberals. So all day I discuss some of y'all be talking about it. And some of y'all discuss me talking about conservatives. But I've never sat there and said to myself, I'm going to call where they work and I'm going to complain. I disagree with them so much. I'm going to call where they work and complain. But here's where the line gets drawn. You can't be at work and treat a customer at work like that. You can't bring that into work. There's a huge difference there. Because then it affects that business's bottom dollar. And I went and looked at Nolan's Grill's Facebook reviews today. Last night it was like at a 2.8. And had tons of comments. I mean, tons of reviews based on this. And I looked at it tonight before we went live, and it was at a 2.0. I hate that for the business owner. And they, my understanding is they said, look, it's a good employee. We're sorry, blah, blah, blah. But man, once you let them get away with that at work, assuming everything is that the trooper's family said is true. Once you allow that and you don't remove that employee, but then you're saying we agree with that employee. Whether you do or don't, you're saying that we agree with that employee because it happened on the clock. It's like the NFL and the NBA, specifically the NBA, allowing all the kneeling during the anthem and having all the messages on the court in the back of jerseys. You are co-signing on that. So it's fine if that is what you agree with. Nobody cares. But you're leaving yourself susceptible to the blowback of people who don't agree with that. So be mindful of that. I've gotten to the point personally where I eat where I eat and I don't where I don't, and I've never eaten there, so I don't know. But I will probably not ever eat there. It's like if I'd ever had there and I say, oh man, their food is so good that I don't really care about their political beliefs. But as a person who's never been there, now I say to myself, well, I don't know if that's somewhere I ever want to eat, So you just got to think about that stuff. I used to own a restaurant, and my dad told me forever and ever, stay out of politics. If you're going to own a business, stay out of politics, stay out of politics, stay out of politics. I waited till I got out of the business and before I started ranting about politics. So be mindful of that. You can't in Clinton, Mississippi, a very, very conservative town. You cannot have an employee telling a state trooper that he has to leave. You're not going to serve him. That's not going to play well in Clinton, Mississippi. In Jackson, Mississippi, you will be heralded as a hero. Not in Clinton. Not in Madison, not in Pearl. You got to know your demographic. It ain't gonna work there. So be mindful of that. That's all I'm saying. We don't want to see anybody go out of business. I don't care what their political beliefs are. But but don't be surprised by the negative blowback if you're going to support that. So I guess that's really all I got to say. I mean, good employee. There's plenty of good employees. A good employee, I bet that state trooper puts his life on the line. That employee has been poisoned by the mainstream media and the Black Lives Matter, the hijacked version of the Black Lives Matter movement. The one that white liberals hijacked. They have poisoned his mind. And that's sad. I hate that. I really do. You hate to see somebody that young. I assume he's young. Hell, he may be a 40-year-old dude that is waiting tables and doesn't care. Whatever. I'm making some assumptions here. So that was one of the main things I want to talk about tonight. I've got all the screenshots of the conversation in the JXN Uncensored group. You can just go see one of the most recent Save Jackson posts. Send a request to join the group. There's a couple questions you must answer. Speaking of restaurants, and they probably don't want me dragging their name through this after that, one of the questions we ask for people to join the JXN Uncensored group is, and I keep saying JXN, it's Jackson Uncensored, but I want to make sure y'all search it JXN. If I say Jackson, just assume the spelling's JXN. One of the questions we ask is A, have you ever lived in Jackson? B, what's your favorite locally owned restaurant? If we had to give out a Save Jackson award for most popular restaurant, it's hands down, and there's not even a close second. Well, there is a second place, and I'll tell you who that is. There may even be a third. But by 100,000 votes, it's Kiefer's. Kiefer's is the answer 1 out of every 100 times. I mean, 99 out of 100 times. Kiefer's is the answer. Favorite local restaurant? Kiefer's. I see Kiefer's so many times a day when I'm approving membership requests for that group that it has literally made me order Kiefer's for lunch because I've seen it so many times. I'm like, man, I can't get Kiefer's out of my damn head. So if we had to ever give out an award for most popular Jackson restaurant, I don't care who wins what at Jackson Free Press Awards, Kiefer's is the most popular restaurant in this city, in the Tri-County area, and it's not even close. And it's unique, too, because they have such a unique menu. It ain't like you can go get that at too many other places. So I think that's really cool. Kiefer's is hands down the most popular restaurant, according to Save Jackson followers and Jackson Uncensored members. Second favorite, now this may be a little bit of a toss-up here, Big Apple, or Big John's, depending on who you are. Most of us call it Big Apple. Got the little smokes. They're second. Chriselle's is a third, maybe second, depending, kind of a toss-up there. Three completely different kind of restaurants. Gyros and whatnot with Kiefer's. Straight up as soul food as it gets with pig ear sandwiches and smokes at Big Apple. And then Chriselle's with seafood and steaks and stuff. And I can't argue with any of those. Man, they're three of my favorite restaurants. Absolutely. They're legit in Jackson restaurants. So I think that's pretty cool. Most people, they know they're locally owned restaurants. So I want to give y'all props for that. Let's see. Sorry. Got some news update about Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders. I just had to clean my screen there. A lot of conversation going on here in the comments. I don't know if you've ever done a live feed, but the comments move so fast. It is really hard to keep up with them. So I like to go back and I will read everyone. I see somebody say Kismet's is better. I don't know, Nikki. Look, I don't dislike them. They're good. But when it comes to gyros, I'm going to go with, between those two, I'm going with Kiefer's. My personal favorite gyro isn't even in Jackson. It's in Ridgeland. It used to be in Byram. It's called Kralakis. But it's a completely different kind of gyro. It's like their meat is way more, like it soaks in juice. It's amazing. But they're both lamb meat. They're both wrapped in a pita. But they're just different. I love them both. I mean, flip a coin. I think I like Kralakis because I eat Kiefer so much that it's just a nice change. Maybe it's not necessarily better, but both very, very good. Mandy says she likes Doe's Eat Place. Yep, man, Doe's is great. I hate that the one in Florence closed, but stuff happens. The one in Ridgeland is still open. Look, one thing Jackson and the Tri-County area is not lacking is good steak. You can throw a rock and hit a good steakhouse in Jackson, Mississippi. We know how to cook and find good steak. You can get a good steak in Jackson, Mississippi. Hell, I'm gonna tell you what, Martin's downtown, right there. If you don't know where Martin's is, this is probably the wrong podcast or blog or live stream for you. Martin's has got one of the best steaks I've ever had too. And I heard a little birdie told me they may be expanding their steak business. So, stay tuned there. But, Martin's has got an amazing steak. They do a steak night every Friday and it's just old fashioned steak and baked potato. And I love that. Reminds me of the Hill. If you grew up in South Jackson in the 80s and 90s, you ate at the Hill. Martin's really got that Hill vibe to it. It's probably the last dinner club. If you know what I'm talking about, live music and a steak. And I know Catherine's is a lot like that in Ridgeland. Catherine's is another great place. So best steakhouses is one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. And I started with Shapley's and just talking about what a great experience I had for my birthday there. As you know, I said it at the beginning of the video, Wendell, and I'm pointing that way. Wendell's that direction from my house, I think. So Wendell is great. Shapley's was great. Of course, Tico's is great. I have not had the chance to eat at Kessler Prime yet, but several people whose opinions I hold in high regard have talked about how great Kessler Prime is. So I'm going to take their word for it and say the Kessler Prime has probably got a great steak. The guy that runs it, I guess his last name's Kessler, he ran or owned Shapley's for the last 17, 18 years. And he moved out there. Then the Shapley's family opened it back up. Look, I have no doubt that Kessler Prime is a great steak. So somebody asked if I've ever eaten Gibbs. That was another one I was going to mention. I have been trying to get out to Gibbs for the last forever. And no, I have not ever eaten there. It is like on my local bucket list item. Here's everything else. Here's Gibbs. It's at the top of the list. I want to get out to Gibbs. But it's just planning it has just been hell with the pandemic. Or whatever you want to call this. It's just been hell. So no, I've never eaten at Gibbs, but it's way on the to-do list. And we may make that happen sooner rather than later. My next steak visit one night this week, I am going to Wendell to say hey to them. I've said Wendell 800 times in the last week. So I'm going to go eat at Wendell at some point and dragging the wife and whatever kids want to go with us. They go early. I hear that about Gibbs, and it's kind of got the like long bench tables, like group seating. So I hate that personally. I like my space, but you know, you make sacrifices when you go certain places. See, Corey, let's just go, man. Let's just plan a night and go to Gibbs. We can make it happen. Ashley says get there early. Gibbs is awesome. Yeah, I hear you got to go early. You know, or you may be waiting a while. I'm going to backtrack through some of the comments here. Like I said, this is a lot easier when Crystal was helping me out here. Ashley says Railroad Pizza in Flora is amazing. You know, I have gone to Railroad Pizza in Flora more than once. Just snuck out there on a day off by myself and gone and ate lunch at Railroad Pizza in Flora. I've never had their steak, but their pizza's phenomenal. Their mozzarella sticks. I judge places by their mozzarella sticks. Like, if you mess up mozzarella, if you're going to put mozzarella sticks on your menu, you better come straight with them. I mean, because don't try to middle of the mall homemade stuff that ain't no good just because you don't want to do frozen. Frozen mozzarella sticks are better than bad mozzarella sticks. So I say all that to say, Railroad Pizza in Flora has got amazing homemade mozzarella sticks. They're about this big around. And got 10 different cheeses in them, I think. Deep fried. I'm jealous. I cannot get nothing to fry like that with everything busting out the guts. So if you go to Flora, I keep calling it Flora. I want to call it Flora Butcher. If you go to the pizza place there in Flora, Railroad Pizza in Flora, be sure to try the mozzarella sticks. Cannot go club. I'm reading comments here and I'm getting my words mixed up. Cannot go wrong with the mozzarella sticks at the Railroad Pizza in Flora. Christopher Seafood in Yazoo City gets an honorable mention. Bill's Steak and Seafood in Flora. Man, it's crazy. I've never been there. I don't even think I've heard of that before. Amerigo's has got a great steak. I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. This show is more about y'all than it is me. I'm just the one running my mouth. So I love to make sure I bring any cool stuff y'all say to attention. You know, I see my friends from Pops are watching. You know, you guys should do a steak night at Pops. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out in the world and see if we can make it happen. Law of attraction. If y'all can do a steak half as good as y'all do crawfish, it might be the best steak we've ever had. I'm just saying. All right, I can only go back so far here on the comments. Corey says, let's take the lives. We will plan it. Let's do it, man. Railroad Pizza, get the wings and pimento cheese fritters and the pizza, according to Jan. Oh, you know what? Jennifer McManus says the fried cheese or the mozzarella sticks at Froghead Grill in Clinton. Glad you said that. Those are also some of the best fried mozzarella sticks I've ever had. And I don't even like mushroom. I'm not a mushroom guy. But the stuffed mushrooms or fried mushrooms or mushroom portobello, whatever they call it, their appetizer there at Froghead's fried mushrooms is as good as it gets. Me and my wife have been a couple times, and we get the fried cheese sticks and the fried mushrooms, and we damn near don't have to get anything else to eat. Like anything else we get really just comes home as leftovers. So definitely support Froghead Grill out in Clinton. I don't think you'll have any political issues out there if you live in Clinton. You can go to support Froghead Grill. Hopefully the other place out there in Clinton can get this straightened out, and we definitely want to give anywhere. If they ever want to tell their side of this, if the Nolan's Grill folks want to tell their side of the story, this is an open platform. We'll come to them. We want to hear their side of the story. So we always believe there's two sides, and then the truth kind of falls somewhere in the middle. So Bubba says, what up, Clay? Good thing you got going on. What up, Bubba, man? Thank you. I want to thank everybody watching. We're kind of getting down here. We've been on for 51 minutes. I'll go on for a few more minutes. Here we go. I guess there's always the thought of leaving them wanting more, huh? Let's see. We got something about Mississippi State here. Tyler Horka on Twitter says, and he's a big reporter in the college football community, says, I asked Mike Leach if Mississippi State has any active COVID-19 cases among players on his team. His response, if we did, I wouldn't tell you. I love Mike Leach. He went on to comment the MSU staff, he went on to commend the MSU staff for making sure the Bulldogs are one of the healthiest teams in the country. Look, I'm going to tell you what, and I think I don't care if you pull from Mississippi State, LSU, Ole Miss, whoever. The SEC is probably going to be the healthy. Being a SEC player is probably going to be the healthiest option you have as a teenager or young adult. There's so much riding on the SEC playing football that they're going to create a bubble. It ain't going to be a legit bubble like what the NBA is playing in, where everybody lives in a bubble. But it's going to be as close to as a bubble as you can get without being in one. So much money for these universities and the future of these universities' football programs, and not just football, but athletic programs, because football drives the bus. Make no mistake about it. They will make sure that there is no COVID outbreaks that cause the team to have to sit out a game. I heard something today, and I should have wrote it down. I want to say that if you're into betting, and it's 2020 is a crazy year, $1, I believe, will win you it's either $10,000 or $25,000. Bet $1 on Arkansas to win the SEC championship, and you will win it's either 10,000. It was either 10,000 to 1 or 25,000 to 1. $1 will win you a boatload. I'm going to go right over to Vicksburg, and I'm going to put like $10 on Arkansas, because this is just the kind of year that you could have enough COVID cancellations and forfeits. I mean, anything could happen. Like if Mississippi State and Ole Miss ever had a chance to have a fluky year that they won the SEC championship without having the best team in the world, this is it. And you just don't know. Alabama could have to forfeit some games. LSU could have to forfeit some games. Of course, State or Ole Miss could have to forfeit some games. I mean, I understand that. Arkansas could win it all because somebody had to forfeit some games. You just don't know. I mean, I know. I see somebody say that's a waste of that's a waste. Spooner, Spooner, I need you on the show, brother. I've been thinking about asking you for a while, and I meant to say something earlier. Spooner, open invitation. I want you to come to the house. I want you on the show. You've got some great stories to tell. You've arrested me before. It would be we could have a good time. Spooner, open invitation. You ran for sheriff. Everybody respects you. God knows I do. Anyway, I digress. But worst case scenario, you spend a couple bucks on Arkansas to win it all, and they do. Or I guess that would be best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you lose a couple bucks, and you go over there and, throw a couple dollars in the slot machine. Maybe you win a couple bucks. I don't know. Hey, does anybody bought a ticket for the Miracle Home, the St. Jude's? I did. I bought. I was up late one night. Spooner says he's in. Spooner, I'm gonna DM you, man. We're gonna make that happen. I should have asked you sooner than this. I've been meaning to ask you for a while to come do this. Anybody else buy a Miracle Home ticket? A St. Jude's Home? Danny Jones says, I listen to more Cody Jinks. Great stuff, bro. Thank you. Cody, look, man, if y'all are country music fans, Cody Jinks is the way to go. Like, if you like old school kick-ass country music, not this tight jeans country music, pickup trucks, country singers getting lost on their own land kind of country, check out Cody Jinks. Anyway, I bought a St. Jude's Miracle Home ticket back about 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that. I forgot all about it. The drawing is Thursday. So maybe Save Jackson World Headquarters. I'll be moving out of Jackson if we win. Now, if I won that, man, I would sell that thing so quick. Not like I can afford $100,000 in taxes. So, anyhow, Claudia. Hey, Claudia, how you doing? It's been a while. I haven't seen you on here as much. I worked with Miss Claudia before. Somebody says Amanda says she loves the muffalettas from NOLA. We do too. Who are some local folks that y'all would like to see us talk to on the some of our Sunday conversations? Just tag them in here. Would love to talk to some folks. I got an opportunity to interview somebody really unique this Friday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it because of work, but we're juggling a few things logistically. There may be something really I don't want to say it's even good. It's just unique, really, really unique. Superstar. She was part of one of the biggest stories in the world the last year or last 4 years. So, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do it or not. Stay tuned. All right, look, that's going to be it. Claudia, you stay safe out there. I see that you're saying you're retired. I'm jealous. Spooner, I'm going to be in touch with you. Everybody else, y'all have a blessed one. Thank y'all. And we will be back here tomorrow night. Save Jackson. Be sure to follow us on everything. If you're not on the Jackson Uncensored group, be there. Save Jackson on YouTube. Save Jackson on Instagram. Save Jackson on LinkedIn. Save Jackson on Twitter. Clay601 on all those too, if you want to follow me personally. But I really don't post much stuff anymore. Everything's about this. Y'all take care. Hell State.